Howdy folks, and I would like to say welcome back to Realpolitiks, but I've been sitting here for 15 minutes looking at this. I mean, not that I mind Putin, and that's definitely an anime poster, and that's, I don't know, People's Magazine, and that looks nice, sure. Don't know why the picture is standing on the ground there. Like those slippers. I think my mom had one of those glasses. Yeah, it's nice. If I click, you hear that? Sometimes it does something. Oh, wow. So that only took 26 minutes. Perfect. And obviously the game is running. Sure. I mean, in the middle of a war. Are we not? What's happening? Where's our war gone? Who am I playing for? Hello? I'm playing for China. That's wrong. Abyssinia. That's my country. Really? No. No. No, 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 no. Note? That one. And here we go again. What I found when I googled that is this infinite loading screen. This guy, I guess so. Hellspawn sounds like a guy. Says somewhere update. It does load, takes upward of 15 minutes. Then down here it's over 30 minutes, and then the developer said, "We're aware of this bug and it should be fixed in a couple of days." It's 21st of February. It's the 6th of March. Right? And there have been updates in between. So, beep. Right down here where the map icons are, I can't click on that. Stop the game, stupid. Why is it the 5th of January 2020? This is not my save game. It is definitely not my save game. We're China. That's wrong. It's supposed to be that China, right? I did turn off, as it was suggested in that thread there, options. I did turn off cities and shadows. That supposedly increases, well, decreases the loading time and increases availability of the game. I can't even press escape here. What the hell is going on? Continue. We are not China. We do not have empty project slots. It says it right there. China PR 2051. This is not 2051. No, for funsies, let's load that one. In the game, supposedly, you heard that right there, this whoosh. Game is there. If you know where the buttons are, see? There. Just hit the map button there. Stuff happens. And now I'm Brazil. And it's 2020. Well, thank you very much, Realpolitiks. That's it. I'm not gonna play this game ever again until it's fixed. I mean, it's early access and all of that. I get that. I think it's early access. Is it early access? I'm pretty sure it's early access. I do get all of that, but breaking your game midway through is not the way to go. So, let's have a little review about this game. Let's do that. Let's talk about this a little bit and see what we can say about the game. So, number one. I have to compare this to other grand strategy games, and the one I'm most recently playing is Hearts of Iron 4. So let's compare that to that. Obviously, this is more focused on internal politics and all the different things you can do, like militarism and personal control and influences and economic stuff with projects and block maintenance. All the stuff that you don't have in Hearts of Iron 4. You do have factions, but they don't cost anything. Everything here costs maintenance somehow. You do have the option of, you know, going here and... Wait a second. That menu I only get when this is my country, right? When I click here, I get spy operation and diplomacy. Aha, now it does that. Okay, I didn't hit it, obviously. Let's go over here. We are Brazil, yeah? Yeah, we are Brazil. I just wanted to say maybe that's just weird. First of all, this bug I hate. If I click here, then keep that pinned to the map. So if I go over here, then I want this to stay here. So I can, you know, look around a little bit, because if I do this, it will always be in my way. So that's one of the things that needs to be fixed. Then, again, comparing to Hearts of Iron 4, yes, factions don't cost any money. Over here, block maintenance does. You have to spend way more time looking at your politics, looking at how people like you or not, like the relations map here. That's all good. But there is no feedback whatsoever in the game. I mean, it tells you pretty much, if you do this, improve relations. Takes 15 days and it will last for 400 days, right? So if I go in my block, which I can't do because my save game isn't loading, why doesn't it tell me for how long this effect is in place? Why doesn't it give me a number saying we have, let's say, 65 score with Thailand, and in brackets it would say 45 base score, that's what we actually have, and the rest is done through projects we have done, like improve relations, like, what's the other one? That, help country. And give you a timer on how long that is running, and maybe even give you some information up here, like Hearts of Iron 4 does, all these little pop-up icons that tell you, look, in 10 days this and that will run out, you have to do something. You don't have that. You basically have to make yourself a spreadsheet or use a piece of paper and write down when things expire so you don't forget. Otherwise, it might just happen that countries like this jump out of your block without further notice in advance. That's bad. Then you can just attack any country overnight. You don't need a war goal or anything. You just, you know, you go in there and say, okay, war now, and then you do this, and then you have this war mini game. I don't mind the mini game. That's okay. But also that mini game doesn't really give you any feedback. It gives you a bunch of modifiers and says, well, there's a good chance that people might die. Why? Because it tells you, you get a +2 attack modifier and the enemy doesn't get anything, and still says, well, you might die. But it doesn't give you a breakdown on what is actually happening and why it is so dangerous, and if there's anything you can do to make that more viable. In the end, it looks to me like you have to take all these options. You do the easy ones first when nobody dies, and you might win those, and then you're at +30%. You need to get to +100% to win the war. So you need to take all the other options as well. Maybe without the unorganized frontal assault. The 85% increase where pretty much everybody dies. Okay, I get that. Then other countries can attack you without warning. So we had this fight, we were China, we were attacking Mongolia, and all of a sudden the regular China jumped us, you know, without any indication that this might happen. There's no way you can see this. In Hearts of Iron 4 you can at least go in there and see, okay, different ideology, that's one thing. And their opinion of you is -100. And then you know that there's something brewing there. You know that you have to do something. Over here, there's no opinion. Anyway, well, yeah, you see this opinion here. Like, 0. Perfect. That's not anywhere visible enough, I think. This up here, these lovely events that pop up here, they overlay each other so fast, especially when you have to take out a loan or anything, or units die. You don't get a breakdown where you can see things in one go. You just have one pop-up after the other, and then you have like 20 events queued. And the one you're looking for is number 18. You don't see that. It's too late. They are just overlaying on each other. Again, in Hearts of Iron 4 you get these theaters on the right side where you see invasions are being planned, or Coast Guard coast undefended or whatever, and you don't have anything here. This game obviously is meant to be a world conquest in some way, because that's the only way you can really do stuff here. The other way would be to get everybody in your block. by diplomatic means of getting their regime to be more aligned with yours, and then trying to raise the opinion and spending tons of money and action points and all of that. Yeah, okay, I can get that somehow. Number one, I think action points is totally a thing that this game doesn't need at all. Then you have GDP, but you also have your money income. Honestly, one of them is enough. Either you have GDP growth, which will give you money income, so combine these and say, we have 0.21 that equals 91 per month and have just one thing, or just keep the money and put the GDP somewhere in here as a stat. Like taxes, debt, army, just put it in there. That's enough, really. HDI also is a thing. You need it for certain projects. I get that. You need your country to be on a certain level to do stuff, but then there's so many projects in here, and I had a look at some of them. I can't get them on top of my head. You have to spend like what does this do? Warmonger time. No, that's not what I want. Stock income from members plus 20%, you spend action points. That's okay. I mean, that's a trade-off I'm somehow willing to do. But if you look at this, you spend 600... No, you get 650 action points. You don't spend anything. That's fine. There are things where you have to spend action points like 5,000 and you get a one-off 400 action points or something. I don't see how that is viable. And this is also way too big and complicated if I look at this. I mean, there's so many different start points that lead you somewhere. And it's nice to have it. Ad hoc actions, uniques, international economy, internal politics. That somehow does make sense, but honestly, when you're in here, you're trying to improve things. You go into your research because you want more money, you want more action points, you want more GDP, you want more HDI, you want nuclear weapons. Stuff like that. So why not categorize it accordingly? Why not have something where you can say, okay, this is mainly HDI focused. You get some other benefits. Like up here, you get GDP, you get stock income, but you also get an additional slot. So that's an added benefit, but this would definitely be in the money category somehow. You know? That's more to the likes of Hearts of Iron 4. When you go and research there, the first tab you get is, this is how you improve your army. This is how you improve your infantry. Infantry weapons 1, 2, 3, motorized vehicles, mechanized vehicles, and your special troops, paratroopers, and all of that. I get that. That works for me. I go in there and I know, okay, my army isn't doing great. I need more breakthrough. I need more armor. I need more defense. I go in there. I know what tab to click on. Then it's just a matter of finding the one that's least expensive to do. It's good. Also, why can't I increase this? Why can I not get more project slots? These things are freaking expensive. 400 days implementation time. So that's more than a year. That's 2 years almost. That's 3 years. How long am I supposed to play this? If you look at the scenario we played with China, we had like 10 years to conquer these two. We have 2 slots. You need to work on your GDP, which is always complete crap. You need to work on your unemployment, which you start out with, which is high. That's your 2 slots gone. You can't work on nuclear weapons because you don't have the research slot. You can't work on improving your HDI to get better infrastructure, to get better schools, to get better anything, because you have to work on other things. Otherwise, you're bankrupt the next day, and you only have 10 years to get this done. How are you supposed to do that when half of the projects take 2 or 3 years? In the tutorial, they all took like 15 days. Okay, I get that, it's a tutorial, and 15 days is really unreasonable there. But you should be able to get things done. I mean, even in, again, Hearts of Iron 4, the land doctrine research, the longest thing in the whole game, takes, what, 280 days? For one of them. And that game is supposed to run from 1930-something to the end of the war, a little bit later, maybe 1950. You can get all the research done, no matter what country you play, until you reach 1950. No problem at all. Never was a problem. In here, with a tech tree that big, the only thing is you can do is world conquest. Start in, I don't know, 2000 or whenever that starts, and let it run for 100 years. Then you might have a chance. I don't know. I had a look at more than one scenario here. Most of them just seem either boring or undoable. And if they are doable, then it's a thing where, you know, you won, you reload the thing, you do the same thing all over again, and you lose. Because there's so many factors in here that you can't control, that you don't have any visibility of. I just don't like it. I mean, it sounds like I'm ranting a bit here, right? But this is really supposed to be sort of a review. And yes, I am ranting because this game just decided to completely trash the Let's Play we're doing. And that's not good. That's just not a way to do a game. It looks gorgeous. It looks absolutely fantastic. With, you know, looking over the horizon here, having some sort of, I don't know, the end of the atmosphere / aurora borealis / ozone layer. I don't know. And you have all these things up here. That's all great. But still, there is no indicator. At least here you have a flag, and you see that this is Russia, right? How am I supposed to see that this is Intermarium? It doesn't say there. Why is there no flag right on here? Can I click on these? Yes, I can. Why is that Russia? That isn't even Russia's color. I mean, yes, when I click on Russia, it says it, right? That's Scandinavia. Why did you turn green now? Alright, because that's blue, because that's their own country, and that's red, because it's Intermarium and they don't like Russia. Yeah, Well, that makes sense. Again, when you're fighting, we had that problem before. We wanted to get this one province from China when we won the war with a 100% war score. Basically, capitulation of the whole country. They couldn't do anything against us. We had the army, they had nothing. And we said, give us that. And they just flat out said, no. How can they say no when I have defeated them and I have conquered the whole country and let's put it this way, I could go and rape their women and children if I wanted to. They couldn't do anything about it, but they are not giving me that territory. Huh. That doesn't really seem to be a thing. That's just not thought through. Why is it that you have to take all of the provinces, including that one weird moon up here, wherever that was? United States. There, yeah, China PR. There you go. Why do I have to take that and that before I can take that main province? How should I even know that this exists? How am I supposed to get there when I don't even have, you know, nuclear weapons? I thought somehow that this is some sort of a technology standard that you need to achieve so you can actually travel there. But I don't know, maybe they use transporters, Scotty beam me up kind of thing? It's weird. You know what? This review is basically just saying the game can be good if they continue working on it. If they don't, if they leave it as it is and just add more features, you know, more things to do when you right click or stuff like that kind of features, then it's crap. Completely. I need to do a lot of things here to make this game worthwhile playing. Hearts of Iron 4 doesn't really have that replayability factor because after a while everything is the same, but I think in Season 7, and I'm currently definitely thinking about a Season 8 coming up, with Bendeline and Tank probably again. Probably one of the mods. Maybe start as Napoleon or something again. Try and see that we can run a really long game. Try and see that we can run a really short game. Try and see that we can do something different. So far we've only done one thing and there's more things to do. It looks, in a single player perspective, it looks pretty boring when you always do the same thing. And the strategy for winning is always pretty much the same. And once you reach a certain stage, there is no difference. You just steamroll through the world. It's usually once you won the first war where everybody was against you, because once you have that, you have the territory, the factories. You don't have the civil unrest that sabotages all your factories. Once that's all cleared up, you're just getting all the things, and you can do whatever you want. But then again, there's other ways of playing this. If you look at how Tank is playing most of his Hearts of Iron 4 games, he's picking like Switzerland or Netherlands, the small countries, and trying to survive by not having the mightiest army in the world, but by actually being part of an alliance somewhere, being part of a faction, having England come to the rescue and stuff the borders, and just using spearhead attacks with elite units, like just have 5 tank units and that's all you have for the rest of the game because you can't afford anymore. No manpower and things like that. You can't do anything like that in here. You don't have direct control over your army. Army just keeps dying in a war without telling you how or what to do against it. There's no way to really, well, there is a way to upgrade that if you can. I mean, you can go in here and you can get all the attack bonus and all of that. There is no real tech tree in terms of actually upgrading your units. It's just attack modifiers. Yeah, that's all it does. Just attack modifier. No defense modifier. I mean, after a while you would guess that if that jet didn't work out, then this would have better defense, right? Chaff, flare, reactive armor, that's a thing, Google it. Things like that. I'm missing a lot of things here to make this a real grand strategy. For the moment, this is about as exciting as Tetris, because you never know what kind of block is going to fall down next, and you're still working on all those at the bottom while you already have 5 new layers on top. It's not transparent enough. There's too many things you have to look at. There's these menus that are always open. In Hearts of Iron you have the buttons on top. You can open exactly what you want, and once you're done you can close it, so you have more real estate on your screen that you can view. You have stuff over here, you have stuff down there, you have stuff there, you have stuff here, and there's stuff up there. Where are you supposed to look first? Again, Hearts of Iron. All the stuff is up here. All the things you need to know are up here. And when you want something, when you want to do something, there's buttons up here, opening a menu right here. And that's it. And down here, the only thing you have is your different map views, which technically you have here. But then again, they don't give me anything. Terrain map. Completely useless. I'm not fighting the war manually, the war is fought automatically, so terrain doesn't give me anything. Political map. I need that for my block, definitely. It's good to have, I guess, to see who likes who, but then again, the better map here is the relation map, because then you actually have some figures, and not just, here's the borders of countries. I have that here. Not that good. Well, you don't really get the borders of the countries here, but you can click on them, and then that's the country right there. And if you zoom in, that's the relations you have. I don't know. This is just unfinished. That's my big opinion about this. Sorry if this didn't turn out to be the series you expected. I definitely expected something bigger than this, and it seems like, no, we're not going to finish this. I'm not going to start this again, just because I don't know if I can load the save game, and we will have to do this again. This would be the 3rd time I start this. The first time, because we couldn't finish it, since New China and regular China and China PR kept doing things that I just couldn't fathom why they were doing it, and how that could possibly be. How can you refuse when you capitulate? I don't know. I can understand when the world gets angry when you take all of that, like it is in Hearts of Iron 4. Your war, what's it called? Basically the same as here. Your warmonger points go up by taking territory that's not your core. Alright, it's fine. People get angry at you, they want to take it away from you again. Alright, it's fine, let's have another war. It's okay. But how can you flat out sit there and say, okay, I've been defeated, but you're not getting anything from me. I don't want to. It doesn't matter if you want to, I defeated you. I take that, now, with my army. There's nothing you can do. Nope. Refused. Wait 14 days and ask again politely. That's crap. It's just the way it is. It's crap. Also, it's 2020, right? We don't have these. Nobody will build these in 3 years. For a scenario for 2100, maybe. Even that is a bit tight. Same with space stations and living on different moons and planets and stuff. No. Get your timelines fixed. This is not working. Alright, that's all for today, folks. I'm not gonna say if you like the video, because there's not much to like about it. Well, leave a like, show me your support. I definitely appreciate that. And I see you again in a different game next time. Bye bye.